You don't have to wait for permission or validation from anyone to pursue your dreams. Wake up at 5:30, get ready for work, pack lunches, send the kids to school, head out, and of course, I'm always late. I can't tell you how sick I was of just feeling rushed all the time. I just couldn't believe how empty and unfulfilled I felt. I mean, I had done everything right. I was playing by the rule book. I just didn't get it. I was supposed to be happy. Today, I want to share with you a little of my journey in starting my YouTube channel at the age of 45. I chose to do this shortly after quitting my job, which they had nothing to do with one another. Just quitting my job kind of freed me up to go after this YouTube channel that I had been talking about since last summer. And even then, when I talked about it, I still never believed that I would actually go through with making a channel. But here I am. But I would love to share with you some of my journey in that process of what it felt like getting there. Because it wasn't something I just woke up or one morning and said, yeah, I feel like doing it, let me do it. No, there was a lot of thought and hesitation and fear and everything that goes into putting yourself out there. So I think 2020 was the catalyst for a lot of us to do something different, to do something new. We had a lot of time indoors to think about the stuff that we hadn't done, the stuff that we want to do. And I felt a discontentment there. I felt a stir. Like my mind started just going here, there, and everywhere. I just wanted something different. I wanted to do something different. I was caught in that 9 to 5, wake up, do this, A, B, C, D, the same thing every day. I actually had a great job, a great paying job. So that wasn't the problem. The problem was I was there all day. I had all this extra money, but no time to really enjoy it. And when I did actually take some time, it was always that the countdown was on from the time it started. Like, I knew that I was going to have to go right back to that predictable lifestyle that I don't know. There was just not a lot of satisfaction there for me. So being a new YouTuber is something unlike anything I've ever done before. I have always been a very private person. I am actually an introvert, and I never really messed around on social media at all until a couple of years ago, believe it or not. Putting myself out there has been the opposite of what I wanted to do. But surprisingly, when I started this channel, I began a journey of self-exploration. There are things about me that have come out to myself that I was completely unaware of. It's like I was moving through life in this fog. And now that I've started this channel, I have started just exploring all those little nooks and crannies that I didn't have time for before. Here I am in my mid-40s. So yes, I was intimidated. I was insecure about everything. And to be honest, I knew nothing of what the heck I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. So if you are anything like me and you're new to starting your channel, or you're considering starting your channel, you've probably watched 1,000,001 videos on what you should do and what you should buy. I don't want to add any more to that. You already know that you can go as simple as using your phone to make your videos, or you can go buy the fancy cameras. But at the end of the day, this whole journey comes down to you. Just like my channel and my journey comes down to me. I've had no experience in any of this. I didn't know how to operate a camera. I didn't know the first thing about what software to use or any of that. You know, I have had to start from scratch learning all of this stuff, which from being in this now, I know pretty much everybody does. So if you are considering starting a channel, I tell you to please just go for it. You're not going to know everything. Your videos are going to be crap. Mine are crap. You know, I'm learning this process. It's kind of like being in YouTube school, and that's okay. It's okay. At the end of the day, what is your reason behind it? What are you doing this for? What's motivating you to want to make these videos and to put yourself out there? Ask yourself that question, because it's super important. I have had to spend hours upon hours pondering that question, like, why am I doing this? To make sure that each time my answer comes up to be to help. That's what I want to do. I want to help in some way, shape, form, or capacity. You know, yours may be to teach. Yours may be to entertain. Then again, maybe I do a little bit of both. I want to entertain too. So I'm still figuring that out, and it's taken me a little time. I don't have a niche yet. And at the same token, niching down all the way down isn't something that I particularly want to do. So I'm figuring out how I could bring everything to my channel without overwhelming you. You know, it's a process. It truly is a journey and a process. But what gets you through that process is being able to turn into yourself and ask yourself some really hard questions and come up with the answers. Through this process, something truly amazing is happening. I am discovering a piece of myself that I didn't even know was there. You know, for the first time in a long time, I'm just super excited. I get to share my experiences. I get to share my insights. I get to find other people who share common interests. So no, I'm not expecting to go viral. I'm not expecting 1,000,000 subscribers overnight. I'm just excited that I get to share myself with you, and we can have that connection. You don't get that on the other platforms. You know, it's harder to form those connections. So yeah, I'm excited about that. As a content creator, your job is to try and make people feel things. So that's where I'm at on my journey. I have the idea. I have what I want it to feel like, but I'm in the process of trying to convey that to you. So you may be in that stage of your journey, or you may be further along and just kind of burned out and looking for some motivation. But you've come to the right place, because we all have a voice. We all have a perceived way of seeing the world, and it's really fun to just put that out there and let that take flight. So 2020 and the years following have left me feeling a little empty. You know, life just hasn't been everything that I wanted it to be, or at least I've just felt a little dead inside. And so that was another reason I started this channel. I have a renewed sense of purpose, and a new way that I feel that I can reach out and help someone, even if it's just to entertain them for a good 15 minutes. You know, in my mind, part of the feel that I want my channel to have is that house that you go to with all your friends that has the cool mom, and everybody is just free to like be themselves and talk about what they want to and just have a good time. That's the like feel. I get a sense of nostalgia when I like look back on my childhood and being at that house. It was fun. I want to be able to reach people where they're at, you know, just be with them right there. And I want people to be able to take from my channel what they want and put down what they don't. We are all experiencing this life differently. And so at the end of the day, we all have different perspectives. And I think it's awesome if we're just able to have a place to just come together with those perspectives. One of the unexpected things about starting this channel was being able to take in different perspectives and have all this knowledge put into my head about how to do this and how to do that, and how to incorporate that into me. I really think that anyone who goes through higher education or who wants to have any kind of opinion should have to start a YouTube channel. Starting this channel has really just made me take a good look in the mirror. You know, a lot of my insecurities, I thought, came from my body. So if you were to look, my first long form content that I posted was a lingerie haul. You know, I thought that if I faced my fears of being judged by my body and everything else head on, I would just go ahead and get over that hurdle and be done with it, because I truly had convinced myself that I don't care what other people think, blah blah. But you do, you care. You find that out the hard way, you care. And then you slowly start to let that care go. There's no sense in worrying about, you know, if the girl from high school or the girl you worked with 5 years ago sees this, or you'll be lucky that anybody sees your content at first. I'm excited to see the few views that my stuff gets, but it's okay. I am in the process of growing this channel. I'm in the process of growing myself. And I hope that this is encouraging to you to know that you are not alone trying to make this thing work. But during this journey, you can learn so much about yourself. If you just start to dig and start to learn not only the YouTube part of it, but you need to figure out, what are your fears? How do you really feel about things? One of those answers for me was time. I asked myself, what is one of the things that's like super important to you, Felicia? And the first thing that came to my mind was time. You know, that's the one thing that is continuously going out the window. We have no control over that. And I never looked at time as something that was just, it was mine. But in reality, time is all we have. Like, that's mine. When my time is up, my time is up. So mad when I was working, when additional time was required or expected, because, you know, we spend a lot of time at work. Another thing that I discovered about myself on this journey was that I had a very, very limited self-identity. You know, and on top of that, I convinced myself that I didn't like people, which is crazy because that is now, looking at who I am now, that's so opposite of who I started out to be, then who I was told I should be, and now we're back to who I want to be. It made me really sad to discover that I hadn't identified as myself, Alicia, in over 20 years. I was a wife, I've been a student, I've been a mother, I've been a responsible, wonderful daughter, I've been a wonderful worker, but I never stopped long enough to pay attention to me. And so in starting this channel, I really had to do that because there were some fears that I needed to face. this is a process that I had to be fully conscious in. I had to be in it in order to make this work. So there was no choice other than to dive into myself internally so that I could bring out what needed to be. There's been lots of barriers, mental barriers, that I've had to overcome in order to allow for expansion. And I will say, this has been super uncomfortable. It's required me to do a lot of changing, a lot of dropping my other personas, and to just be me and be okay with being me, and know that being me will draw my people. Just like being you in whatever you decide to do on your channel will draw your people. Okay, so I've got a renewed sense of purpose with this channel. I've overcome the fear of caring about what people that I don't even associate with think. I truly do want to get to the point where my channel can be a source of inspiration and help for someone. This is me. Take it or leave it. I'm in constant observation of myself, my surroundings, to see what I can bring to the table to this channel. My channel is constantly evolving, but that's what we as human beings are supposed to do. I'm slowly getting better, which you will too. I think I am at a point right now where I've stopped looking for the secret formula. I don't think there is a secret formula. You just have to find what works for you, just like I have to find what works for me. It's hard to believe that there are so many hard decisions that you have to make. At the end of the day, as long as I think if we remain open to new experiences and keep ourselves completely involved and keep an open mind, and just knowing that this is going to take time and effort versus coming from a place of just being really compulsive and not really taking the time to just see things through. I absolutely love making these videos. I want people to leave after watching my channel just feeling better. You know, I want to bring better back to this world. I honestly feel like if you don't have love or commitment towards something, then it ends up fizzling out and not being that important to you. So I truly believe that is something that we as creators need to keep fueled, is that love and desire to do this. So as new content creators, I really think it is important that we stay looking inward for a little bit while we're getting this whole thing figured out. I think, at least for me, it was a little self-sabotage when I continued to watch these videos over and over again of other creators, you know, who were way up the scale compared to me. That's what I found myself doing, is comparing. And there is no comparison at this point. I'm still learning. There's still so much for me to learn. So why would I do that? Yeah, I had to just kind of back away from all of that and really start looking at this as my journey. Like everything, I've told you some of the pros, but you know, there are some cons to this thing. Especially, like I said, I'm doing this on my own. I don't have anyone helping me to, you know, edit anything or help me film or any of that. So that can be a big task for one person. And I think upon entering this, I wasn't truly aware of that. And you do put a lot of time into this just for you to not really get any views. But I promise you, sitting and trying to take in everything about the algorithm and trying to find some kind of trick to this isn't going to bring you your audience. It's you, it's me, and it's us getting in touch with who we really are and bringing that to other people and seeing who we click with, who likes our form of entertainment, or who wants the knowledge that we're putting out. So at the end of the day, we have no secret formula. We are the secret formula if we could just get in touch with that part of ourselves and just really put ourselves out there. Just being able to understand throughout this process so far that my time is valuable, my time is mine, and letting go of all of those limiting identities and finding Felicia and putting my energy into tearing down any barriers or walls that I might have put up in order to expand, in order to really allow true expression of myself. I've faced a lot of my fears throughout this process. I will be making videos in relation to part of this process specifically, because it has been an emotional journey that you begin to take sometimes. It can take an emotional toll on you. You know, not many people understand what you're doing. Not many people understand what's your driving force behind wanting to do this. Most people don't necessarily have a lot of support around them when you're starting a channel. So that can be really isolating at times when you don't have someone to bounce ideas off of, or someone who just knows the struggle of creating content. I think if we wake up every day and just be in constant agreement that, okay, we are going to change, we are going to evolve, and it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to push ourselves a little bit outside of the comfort zone. In order to grow, we need to be a little more open-minded, and that, in a sense, allows for more inclusiveness. You know, I don't think that we want anyone coming to our channel and not feeling like they're getting a big old hug in some way. I don't think that you're ever too young or too old for anything. I honestly feel it's about the energy that you're bringing to the situation. I think we all approach life differently, and we all have different perspectives on things, and they're all important. You know, I think we are in a time now where people just really want to feel connection. They want to feel. And as creators, if we can be respectful of that and help aid in that process, then hey, at the end of the day, you don't have to be young or rich or tech savvy to create something meaningful. You don't have to wait for permission or validation from anyone to pursue your dreams. You don't have to live for anyone else's judgments or expectations. You just live for you. Fears will arise. I think it's super important to deal with those fears head on. You know, find out what you're afraid of and why, and overcome that, and continue to make your videos. Continue to check in with yourself. It's not validation that I'm after. I want to contribute. I want to contribute to the conversation. I want to contribute to a more positive mindset. I want to contribute to better. You know, I'm still finding out how to express that better, but I'm going to keep doing it until I get it, okay? So get used to seeing me. I'm going to keep showing up, and we are going to build this channel up. So, and I hope you do the same. I hope you keep plugging away and keep figuring this thing out. So at the end of the day, if, you know, I don't get the followers and I don't get the freaking, you know what I mean. If I don't get all that, I have grown as a person tremendously so far. And I can't wait to see where this thing goes. So stick around.